really amazing to me that Thompson has never won a state.
The Cardinal is AM 1600 KDAK, Carrington, and FM 100.1 K261EW, Carrington. Locally owned and operated by I3G Media.
It's time to find out what's going on in Carrington Cardinals athletics on the Carrington Coaches Show on KDAK The Cardinal and the KDAK The Cardinal YouTube page. The Carrington Coaches Show takes you behind the scenes of all things Cardinal athletics. Now, live from the Prairie Inn in Carrington, here is BJ Walters.
The beginning of a very busy night of Carrington athletics here on KDAK The Cardinal, as it's a doubleheader with the Coaches Show and Carrington boys basketball hosting an old rival. More on that in a little while. We welcome you into a place that is much warmer than it is outside, I assure you. Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery. Let's talk about the specials real quick. The sandwich special, sweet chili grilled chicken on a bun, and the evening special is an 8-ounce smothered ground beef steak. We've got a lot, and I do mean a lot, to do tonight. The Carrington boys wrestling team, regional dual champions. We're going to have Coach Kerball and 3 wrestlers who have all reached an impressive milestone this year. We'll also have Coach Pazdernick recapping girls wrestling. But we start with girls basketball. They're going to be on the road tomorrow at Mayport CG, and we're joined by senior guard Isabel Wendell and assistant coach Mara Nelson. And whoever wants to jump on it first, Coach, first, thanks for stopping by. And I mean, here we are, February 10th, and 3 games left in the season. I mean, it kind of flies by, right?
It is flying by, yeah. When you look at especially our JV girls, and they only have a couple practices left, and then we're moving right into, like our last region game is next Monday already, and then we're flying into regional. So it has gone very fast.
All right, since you brought it up, I do want to get to that because you're the head coach of the JV team. You guys have had a wonderful season, and one of the things that I'm really impressed by is that halfway through the year you get the 8th graders that can join, and your 8th graders are not just sitting on the bench. They are contributing huge minutes. You guys have had a really good subvarsity season.
Yeah, they're a huge part of the team. Not only, obviously, you guys all see it in the games, but there's a reason they're invited up there, especially in practices. Like, they're making our varsity girls better, too. In the minutes that they're getting in there, I really appreciate them coming up because they just get a jump start on the next season when they're up there in that high school division of 9 through 12. They get to see all the drills that we do in practice, so then they can just jump right into it again. And plus, they get to, I think it'd be really cool as an 8th grader coming in when you have people like Isabel as seniors that you look up to and you get to play and learn from them. It's huge for them.
So Isabel, over to you. I mean, for you've been very open and honest about the fact that this flies by. You've got freshman teammates who are contributing in a big way, and you've made it a point to them soak this in because it flies by. Does it seem like it's flown by?
It for sure has, not only this season, but the past 4 years. And I just try to emphasize as much as I can to all the younger girls that you don't take any moment for granted because not only will the seasons fly by, just the first one, but they all do.
Yeah, we all get older and fast. I think we can all agree on that. Last week you played 2 high quality opponents. You played what I think is the heavy favorite right now to win the state championship. I'd be shocked if they don't win it in South Prairie Max. And then you face a Thompson team that was, I kind of introed in the broadcast that it was more a desperate situation for Thompson than it was for Carrington because even if Thompson wins that game, you're still in control of the number 2 seed in the bye. What did you make of last week, and what did you learn about you and your team in those 2 games?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough week for us. I mean, not even last week, but the week before that, we played Devil's Lake and Edgeley, and those are both 2 really tough games too. And I think we just let the successes almost like weigh us down, and not so much looking forward to the next game. And I think just having that competitive mindset, even though we have taken some losses, is something that's going to be really important, and stepping up the urgency and aggression.
See, that's something that I think gets missed a lot in sports at all levels. I mean, we just saw what happened to Kansas City last night. At all levels, if you win enough, there is pressure that comes with that.
For sure. There has been a lot of pressure, and we were on a really good win streak too. And um, I don't really think it made our girls like, relax and feel like, wow, we're winning a lot. I think it was just more so like, wow, we're winning and we need to keep winning. But I mean, pressure can be a good thing too. And I think, being able to face some of that and learning from it, we can start to overcome the pressure as we roll into postseason.
Senior guard Isabel Wendell and assistant coach Mara Nelson joining us. Coach, can you feel when the girls are feeling pressure as a coach?
I mean, yeah, I go into the locker room every halftime of the game and Broughton asks me what the vibes are because I don't know, I feel like I can read people in that way really well. But um, one thing I will say with this team though is like, yes, they were aware that they were winning, but also there was even a couple of goals when we went to South Prairie Max that were like, oh, we're number 2 in the state. Like they're just happy. They just want to succeed and do well. So I think there's a certain pressure that comes with it, but also that they don't take it too heavy either. So and now that they know with these couple losses that it's just on to the next game and on to the
And,
next success.
and with being a part of this program comes pressure because it's been so good for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, we have been this. I mean, Carrington has a very successful girls basketball team. I was even just talking to a friend this weekend, and after I was just telling her, like, Carrington a lot of times is considered to be a wrestling town. And she's like, I would have never thought that from the outside, having seen all the success, especially that the girls basketball team has had. And the boys have it too. It's just that it seems that the girls are really dominating a lot of times because we have so many really good girls athletes that put in the work.
So, what's the biggest challenge for you and the rest of the staff to, you go through the 11 game winning streak, you're trying to keep the girls
Mm-hmm.
steady, even killed, whatnot. Now it's a 2 game skid. How do you also keep them confident enough in
Mm-hmm.
themselves where they can go out and perform?
Just to keep emphasizing what we have been all year. They know what they need to do. It's just that sometimes we fall short of those things. Kind of even gets to the point like, you're on the bench trying to coach them. And it's like they already know what you're going to say to them because they're just used to it. But building confidence in them, knowing like, hey, keep shooting the ball. We'll get the next one. Lock down on defense. There's so many things, and they focus in. They just need to focus in.
Isabel, back to you for a second because everybody knows. I'm pretty sure. I would think that the coaches in this state are smart enough to have realized by now that when they roll into a gym, you're picking up the best scoring guard that they've got. Um, but it does seem like, to Coach Nelson's point about the young players learning from you, Aniston has become a fantastic on ball defender. Harper, I would never want to be an offensive player against Harper
Mm-hmm.
Coleman because she's aggressive without committing fouls. How have you been able to teach your younger players how to be a really good on ball defender? Because that's a very important part of the game. It's also a very difficult part of the game.
Yeah, I think it all starts at practice. I think the more effort that us seniors put in, it trickles down for sure. And the more pressure that we put on each other, I mean, sometimes it's frustrating for us. And when my teammates are guarding me really hard, it's frustrating. But not only does it make them better defenders, it makes us better ball handlers too. So there's that back and forth to it. But it's all just putting in the work at practice and picking up the high intensity before it comes to a game.
Coach, tomorrow you're on the road at Mayport CG. I know the level of respect that there is between these programs
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, I talked to Coach Broughton and he talks about how he can't believe the school that employs Coach Konchak doesn't also have him coaching
Mm-hmm.
over there. And then, I mean, they speak so highly of your kids, especially after beating them last year. What do you expect tomorrow? It's a lot of the same names in theory. It's just the younger siblings of all the state
Right.
champions that graduated.
Which is how it tends to be around these smaller schools too, especially. But no, it's gonna be another high intensity game. I mean they're a Class B school, but they still have a lot of depth too. I would say um, they're really well at like taking the ball to the hoop. They have a little bit of height that we'll be having to defend as well. Um, they're skilled too. And yes, they did lose some of their players last year, but you watch their games this year, and they filled in those roles really well. So
That Benson County game, I may have took more from Mayport in that game than I did from Benson County, and that was at the time the number one team in the state.
yeah, yeah. Are they not the number one team anymore, Benson County?
Well, they lost to TGU,
Okay.
so now Kenmare's number one.
Okay. Yeah, watching some of that game too, it's one of those games where you watch them and you're not even necessarily paying attention to the score because it's just back and forth the entire time. You wouldn't even realize if somebody got a 4-point lead, 2-point lead, whatever it is. It's just highly skilled basketball back and forth at high intensity.
Definitely is. Isabel, a couple questions for you. So, Carrington, for those who are watching on YouTube from a long way away, you have to understand that the kids in Carrington have probably known each other their whole lives. I mean, especially those who are in the same class. We see, and I try to portray how competitive Josh Bickett is on the radio, but he just reached 1,000 points on Thursday. You've grown up around this kid. Has he always been this competitive?
That's kind of hard to say because he has been a competitor, but he's always been like so much more athletic and better than the rest of us. I don't mean that. I mean that in the best way possible. So it's not like he had any like competition, but no, but he's had a lot of success on the court, and it's really good to see him, find that success in such a big way. I mean, it's really hard to reach 1,000 points, and he had a big game, and he really deserves it.
You've also had a big couple of months because everybody knew you were verbally committed to the Jimmies. I think it would have been a shock if that changed just because your sister's over there and whatnot. But you're signed on to play volleyball now at UJ. Typically, I would ask you what they want to see from you in the off season, but you're doing basketball, then you're going to catch or play first base for softball. You don't have time for all that. But I mean, are you more excited about it, or are you more relieved that you now know what the next step is? You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and it's nice to have like a solid like future plan that I know will, come to fruition. But I'm really beyond excited to be able to play with all those amazing girls and with my sister again. That's something I didn't, know would happen when she graduated or if it would happen again. So it's a really exciting time, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun and learn a lot of new things at UJ.
It's going to be fun in the NSIC too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really competitive conference, and I know their head coach is really looking forward to playing all those really great teams.
What will you be majoring in?
I'm thinking about going into business administration, but it's not set in stone yet.
Very good. Well, in the more immediate future, it's Carrington and Mayport tomorrow at about 6:45. Assistant Coach Mara Nelson and Senior Guard Isabel Wendell joining us. We will see you ladies over there, and thanks so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you,
Thanks
BJ.
for having us.
We will come back, and the gentleman who just walked in the building will join us. The head coach of Carrington Girls Wrestling, Mark Pazdernick, stops by when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Carrington sports fans, want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents at Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience, and we are from here, so we know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Let Bickett Insurance give you a free proposal from Auto Owners Insurance or one of our many other partners. Give Bickett Insurance a call at 652-1775 today.
Don't forget, we have Carrington boys basketball coming for you in just a little while. Kyle Hewitt will bring you the Cardinals and the Hornets of Harvey Wells County over at the East Gymnasium. Now, one programming note, if that happens in the next 20 minutes, and it could, because the JV is only 3/4 tonight, we would hand off radio to Kyle and keep going on YouTube because we have a big final segment coming up. But right now, we're joined by Carrington girls wrestling coach Mark Pasternak. And coach, since last we spoke, the postseason also began for your team and a 2-win weekend at the regional duels. How would you assess it on the whole?
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, I told the girls that we had a chance to qualify for the duels. Um, and we happened to be the 9 seed, and we took on Pembina County, and that pretty much came down to one match, and we ended up winning 39-36. So then we took on the number 1 seat of Central Cass, and I actually decided I wrestled 2 matches in that because I knew that we didn't have a chance to win that duel, and trying to save ourselves to get back into 3rd and 4th.
Sure.
Because if we got back into 3rd and 4th, we were going to have 5 duels, if not 6 duels. And we have some girls that are a little bit injured right now, and they're a little bit under the weather, so I was trying to save them for that. So we end up losing to Central Cass in the quarterfinals, and then we dropped down into the wrestlebacks, and we took on South Border, and we ended up losing 40-36. It was one of those that I told the girls almost every duel was going to come down to one match, that we're probably going to win by one match or lose by one match, and that's what it came down to. I thought our girls wrestled really good for the matches that we had, you know, which is a good plug going into this weekend for individual regionals. So then that dropped us in for 7th and 8th, and we end up beating Napoleon 46-30, which we lost to them the week before by a point. And I don't know if people realize that, but we had 8 matches the week before against Napoleon, 8 of the 13, and we won 6 of the 8, and we still lost the duel.
Oh my goodness!
Because we gave up some forfeits where they were able to collect 6 points.
Sure.
So we had those girls back this weekend, which made the difference. But if we could have got by South Border ended up beating Fargo the next round to get back into 3rd and 4th. We would have had a good chance to beat Fargo also. It would have been another close match. And that would have maybe got us back into 3rd and 4th with Lisbon. So we were maybe one match away from getting in there. I thought our girls fought really hard, and we'll just hopefully going into this weekend, it's more of the same. So
you mentioned that second match, how you kind of pulled back a little bit. I guess we haven't really had the chance to talk much about it, but we know how badly basketball has been trying to fend off whatever this sickness is for over a month. How impactful has it been with your team?
It's been off and on since Christmas. I know a couple days right after Christmas, I think I only had less than half my girls in practice. I only had 6 girls a couple times. So it's been bad. And then last week I had a couple girls that were still sick. They were back to practice a little bit, but you could tell in the matches they just didn't have the energy. They still hadn't recuperated. So hopefully this week that we're back to full health and we're feeling as healthy as we can. So because a 6-minute match, still under the weather or still feeling the symptoms of sore throat, bronchitis, whatever, your lungs are really affected. And
Oh,
a
yeah.
couple girls, you could tell that they were struggling with it. So hopefully this week that they'll get healed up. So
You mentioned Central Cass was the number one seed in the region. Is, in your opinion, are the Squirrels the favorite to win the dual state championship?
no, I wouldn't say that. No, they're not the favorite. The West is usually stronger with Bismarck Legacy, Bismarck High, Minot. Those three are pretty tough. I think maybe they can knock off one of those, but I don't know if they got enough to knock off all three of them for the most part. So and Dickinson would be the other one I think that qualified over there. But Central Cass maybe be able to get by one of them. Well, to tell you the truth, they're probably taking on Dickinson, who's the 4 seed.
Ooh,
So
that's a tough quarter.
they should get through there, and then they'll take on one of the Bismarck schools or Minot, I should say, in the semis. So, but yeah, the West seems to be a little bit stronger for the most part. So
So this weekend it is regional individual tournament. That's in Castleton. We'll have coverage beginning at 12:50 on Friday, right here on KDAK, the Cardinal. Give us a primer of that. Obviously, when you're looking at individuals, Jasmine's name comes up right off the top.
yeah, she's had a really successful year so far. She'll be one of the top 2 or 3 seeds. Um, and yeah, we hope to qualify as many as we can. We'll have 14 wrestling. They only take the top 8 because there's 2 regions. They want 16 in a bracket at state, so it'll be top 8. Hoping to maybe qualify 6, 7, 8 kids, but some of those kids are going to have to really fight and claw to get back into 7th and 8th. We'll find out on Friday because yeah, we weigh in at I think 11, and then wrestling starts at 1. And then we see the tournament. So some teams, some kids haven't decided what weight class they're going, so that kind of determines the seeds. But yeah, we'll hopefully qualify half a dozen to maybe a little bit more. But we'll see how it goes.
Do
So.
you guys have any of those decisions to make where you're between classes?
Yeah, for a few girls we do. Most girls are kind of locked in where they've been wrestling, just for the simple fact that we only have one per weight class. But we maybe have a couple that trying to decide. They've kind of been in between here and there, or maybe sometimes you look at some weight classes that you might not be able to beat the top one there, but you might have a better chance someplace else. So there's a couple weight classes that trying to decide where to go. But for the most part, most of it is pretty solidified that what weight class they'll go. So.
The
But
the head coach of Carrington girls wrestling, Mark Pazdernick, joining us. So this question literally just popped into my mind. With whatever has been going around, and I'm not even sure we're sure of what it is yet, and it's been going around for 6 months. How challenging has this year been? Because a lot of wrestling season is A, routine, and then B, gradual improvement from day to day.
yeah, I like I said, after Christmas we had some sickness. Before we didn't. We've had most of the girls in the lineup. We had a few duels at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year, and we missed a couple of those girls in the duels. But it can be grueling. But where sometimes it happens in practice when you don't have very many kids in practice. Sometimes we spar with each other, and um, there isn't a lot of lot to pick from to practice and wrestle with each other. Sometimes you got to be close to the same weight and same strength, otherwise it just doesn't work. So that's where I struggle in practice. If we had 20-25 girls, then you could match up girls that are equally challenged for the most part. But yeah, when a few of those girls are missing because of sickness or whatever, it can make practices a lot tougher or whatever to come up with
So
some ideas.
So Kyle and I were talking about this when it was announced that your duels had been moved from Friday to Saturday. And Kyle, I thought, made a great point. He said, this is another difficult break because we're at a point where we're trying to grow the game for the girls. And now they're pretty much getting hidden again with the boys going on the same day. That must have been tough.
Yeah, and I don't know how long it had been out there that it had been on Saturday, but the last 2 years for the dual tournament, it's been on Friday. We had it the first year, and Castleton had it last year. So I didn't even really. I think February or January 23rd, the letter came out, and I didn't really look at it close enough. But I don't know how long they had it on their data of that. But yeah, it ended up doubling up. So then it kind of took away coverage from one because the boys were wrestling here in town too. But yeah, it's it would be nice if they were split a little bit. But yeah, going forward, I'm not. I for that one, it's up to the host school whether they want to do Friday or Saturday for the most part. But so yeah.
So this week it is Friday. It's at Castleton. Um, what would I love asking coaches a version of this question? You're in a postseason. What would be the biggest surprise for you this weekend from a positive standpoint? Like, is there one girl that you think could do it, but she needs to pull off a couple upsets or
Well,
anything along that?
I'll be honest with you. I don't even know with some of those because um, we don't go to many tournaments that it's all the East region.
Right,
It's
right.
a lot of West that's sprinkled in with it. If we go out to the West, there's a lot of East out there. So I honestly, for the top couple, like with Kendra and probably Jasmine, I know where they're at. But the other girls that filter in through they could be a 6, 7, 8 seed, 9 seed, 10 seed. I don't even know where some of those are until I see who's all entered in those weight classes. So that's a good question, but I really can't give you an answer
Sure.
because um, again, the top ones I kind of know where they're, at least the region and the state probably where they're seated. But for the other ones, it could be anywhere from 6 to 12 seat, and obviously wherever they're seated, it doesn't matter. You just got to claw your way back into the top 8 for the most part to go to state. So,
Yeah,
but
absolutely. Well, we will have it for you 12:50 on Friday. Kyle Hewitt will be there. Let me make sure I got that right. Yes, Kyle will be there Friday. Dennis is on Saturday. So Kyle will be with you at 12:50 on Friday afternoon. Coach, good luck this
all
weekend, and
right. Well,
thanks for
thank you.
stopping
All right,
by.
thank you.
The head coach of Carrington Girls Wrestling, Mark Pasternak, joining us. When we come back, a few young gentlemen who have had quite the career and their numbers back it up. We'll talk Carrington boys wrestling when the Carrington Coaches Show continues in a moment.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Carrington sports fans want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy to use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents at Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience, and we are from here, so we know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Let Bickett Insurance give you a free proposal from Auto Owners Insurance or one of our many other partners. Give Bickett Insurance a call at 652-1775 today.
We are back at Prairie Inn Restaurant and Bakery. Don't forget the specials today. I promise I'm going to screw this up. Beef Fleshkukla? It's close. I was close enough. That is the daily special, and they're open until 9 p.m. So when we're done here in just a little while, they are not. Well, you do not see me on camera. And trust me when I tell you that's okay, because sitting on camera at the table is over 300 wrestling victories as Carrington Cardinals. I know that sounds like a big number, and it is a big number. We're joined by, and guys, for the YouTube audience, wave when I say your name. We're joined by Sky Kramlik, Callan Garber, and Drew Carr. And we'll start with Callan because you picked up your 100th win this weekend in a postseason duel, a duel where you guys were eventually going to win the region. What was that moment like for you?
I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, I I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah. Sky, what about for you? I mean, you also picked up your 100th this weekend. And by the way, don't be alarmed if you see Sky's cast. He says he's going to be okay.
Yeah, it was really fun to go out there and win a big match like that in front of your home crowd and bring home the region title.
Drew, you got your 100th earlier in the year. Tell us when you got it and what that was like for you.
I believe I got it in Velva, and I didn't really even know I got it until about a month later when my dad told me he thinks I had it.
So okay, just a nod of the head or a shake of the head. Do you guys know what your records is as you're going through the year? All right, so let's come over here then. Um, did you know you were coming close to 100 then?
Yeah, my mom kept talking about it every night. She was telling me, but I missed half the season, so it took a while to get it.
Um, Shifting away from individual success, and we can just go down the line here. You won the regional duels. You did so by again beating Pembina County North. Sky kind of mentioned the home crowd, but what was it like to do that in front of the home folks?
I mean, it was awesome. They're kind of our rivals in wrestling, so to beat them in the region championship, it was kind of cool to do it in front of the home crowd.
It was just kind of fun seeing all our hard work all year kind of pay off right in front of all the fans.
Always fun to be able to go out and compete. Our fans always fill up the gym. They're always loud, energetic, and it makes it a really cool atmosphere for us. Makes it worth putting in all the work.
You know, it's interesting because schools get labeled, football school, basketball school, baseball school, whatever. There's not many wrestling schools. Carrington is absolutely a wrestling school, so we'll go in reverse order. Start with Sky. I mean, how much fun is it to be a part of a wrestling program where this is really important in Carrington?
Um, it definitely puts a little pressure on you because you have expectations, but at the end of the day, I think pressure is a good thing to have and makes you want to go out there and perform and do well and just do the right things to get where you need to be at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's just kind of like he said, just puts pressure on you, makes you want to do good. Nice having coaches like Coach Kerbot push you hard and push you to be the best you can be.
Yeah, like Sky and Drew both said, adds a lot of pressure, but there's a lot of perks to having it. Like all the alumni that come through help us wrestle, they really play a big toll in our success.
Callan Garber, Drew Carr, and Sky Kramlik joining us. We'll go in reverse order again. Um, Dissect your own game this year. How have you gotten better? Where's your personal growth and improvement come?
I mean, I definitely got better at it all around. Um, just working on my pace, all that thing, getting in shape. A lot of technical stuff too. We've been working on in practice.
I've just done quite a bit of off-season wrestling, from going to camps to doing extra little practices in the mornings, going for runs and stuff. Just the little things.
Uh, Throughout the season, I'd say I've just gotten a lot better at just wrestling free and being able to win those tough, close matches. I put myself in a good position to do well at the end of the year.
Now, Sky, you've had some tough, close matches, but you've also had some matches where, I mean, it's over 45 seconds after it starts. And actually, all three of you guys have had several pretty quick matches this year. What's the key to that? Are you trying to read something that someone else does, or is that sort of part of your own personal game plan going into it?
I think it's just knowing that you're more prepared than the guy in front of you across the mat, and knowing that you can push yourself for 6 minutes, and at some point they're gonna give up and break.
Yeah, like Sky said, if you just keep pushing them, eventually the guy will break. We know how good a shape we're in. We know we can keep that pace up, and they can't.
Yeah, and a lot of times we're known as some people that you don't want to wrestle, like Kerbach said, be the guy you don't want to wrestle. So kind of gets into him mentally, just really helps it out a lot.
That's an outstanding mentality. So we'll start down on this end with this question. You've got regional individuals Saturday in Grafton. We'll have coverage at 10 a.m. on KDAK and on KDDR. Dissect your bracket. You've probably seen a lot of the guys that you're gonna, see this weekend. Um, sort of analyze each of your own weight class bracket.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple good guys in my bracket in our region, but top couple guys are in the other region, so I think I'll do pretty good at regionals. Get a good seat at state.
My bracket, the main one I got, the number one seed in the state, and most of the other main competitions in the other region. So hope to have a good tournament.
Uh, Top of the state is both on the other side of the state for me, but my expectation going into this weekend is to finish towards the top and get a lot of momentum going into this last week.
So you've got 2 weeks left. Um, Tell us your goal for individual performance here in the regionals and hopefully the state tournament. And then, is it a realistic expectation? I would think if you're in the bracket, it is. Is it a realistic expectation that Carrington can win a boys dual state championship?
So starting with myself, I'm definitely towards the top of the state right now, and by the end of the year, I expect that I'll be on top. I think I've put the work in, and it's just going to be a matter of executing when I need to and doing the right things. And as a team, we definitely have have had some things not go our way this year, as far as injuries and stuff. But I think if we put it all together these last 2 weeks, we can definitely have a great showing at state and finish towards the top.
Your individual goal, and then, I mean, how well do you think it can go in the duels?
Um, Hoping for myself that I can just push the pace and beat a bunch of guys, pull some upsets, hopefully finish at the top, but never know. As a team, I think we have a good chance at finishing towards the top, like Sky said. I mean, we've all put in a lot of work this year.
Yeah, my expectations for myself is to, well, you never know, but I'm gonna work my hardest last time doing this thing, so gonna give it my all. And as a team, I think we could do pretty good. It just starts with the little kids, not getting turned, not giving up big points. It means a lot.
So, I mean, you mentioned this is your last go round. I'll ask all of you guys this. I know you're not all seniors, but what memories do you have from either this year or your career as a Carrington wrestler?
You know, there's too much to even pick one, but probably the bus rides home and all that, just spending time with the team, all that stuff.
Yeah, like he said, we've had so many memories that we've damn near all just became brothers and we're really, really close, and it'll be sad to leave everyone.
Yeah, it's hard to pick one moment, but I'd say state is always just fun. Just the atmosphere and the feeling of being down there on the floor under the lights, full crowd. It's loud. Um, just being with your team, the hotel, just the whole experience. It's always fun.
Well, Sky, Drew, Callan, congratulations. Good luck this weekend, and good luck next weekend as well in the state tournament duels. And when we come back, we will have their head coach, Josh Kerbaugh, will join us to get the coach's viewpoint on this past weekend. Safe to say his viewpoint is probably going to be relatively pleased considering they're the regional champion. But we'll talk to Coach Kerbaugh about that in a moment. Now, do not forget that coming up very shortly, we are going to have Carrington basketball for you on KDAK, the Cardinal, as the Cardinal boys take on the Harvey Wells County Hornets. And you can clearly tell that I'm stalling because the computer is not exactly doing what it is supposed to be doing. I'll continue to stall then. Only a couple more home games for the Carrington boys. They're both this week. Tonight against Harvey Wells County and Thursday night against Four Winds Minnewacan. And then for the girls, 1 week from tonight against Four Winds Minnewacan, which means that our next Carrington Coaches Show will actually come on the 26th, a Wednesday, during the girls' regional tournament. But after this, Coach Kerbaugh joins us on the Carrington Coaches Show.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Visit your local Arrowwood Prairie Co-op in Carrington, Wimbledon, Cooperstown, and Sutton.
Carrington sports fans want to stay on top of all the local action? Catch what you missed by checking out the Foster County Independent. From game-changing plays to memorable moments, we've got you covered with the most in-depth sports coverage in town. And don't miss our stunning photo galleries that capture every thrilling moment and winning smile. For the latest scores, stories, and stunning sports shots, grab your copy of the Foster County Independent today or visit us online at fosterconews.com.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at www.dakotacentral.com.
Effortlessly manage your farm fertility with Verify. Verify takes yield data directly from your combine and instantly generates variable rate fertility maps based on your nutritional goals. Whether it's building soil, balancing nutrition, or maintaining fertility. And with full integration with John Deere Operations Center, Verify can send recommendations directly to application equipment, no matter the color. For more information on Verify, talk to your hefty agronomist and keep your farm moving.
When you're thinking about insurance, think of Bickett Insurance. Bickett Insurance, through our partnership with Auto Owners Insurance, can take care of your farm, home, auto, business, or life insurance needs. The agents at Bickett Insurance have over 115 years of insurance experience, and we are from here, so we know how to design policies to protect the things important to you. Let Bickett Insurance give you a free proposal from Auto Owners Insurance or one of our many other partners. Give Bickett Insurance a call at 652-1775 today.
Well, good news, they're still playing basketball in the JV game, the B game. Man, I will never get used to calling it a B game. It's just always JV. It's been that way since I was in high school. But
A squad, B squad, C squad. That's what it
the,
is, right? Yeah.
that's
And then
exactly
junior
right.
high, right? Yeah.
That's exactly right. But the Carrington Coaches Show rolls on, and we're going to take you through to the finish before we hand you off to Kyle Hewitt. Well, those three guys were outstanding interviews, and now we've got their head coach, Josh Kerbaugh joining us off of a regional dual championship. Congratulations, coach. And I guess the first question is, I mean, this is Carrington wrestling, so you've always got expectations, but was that an expectation of yours coming into the year?
For sure, absolutely. I mean, especially with the loss of some of the wrestlers for the season with injuries. Put it this way, I think, I mean, we weren't expecting it to be this close, with
Sure.
it's just it's hard to lose your heavyweight that's a state placer, and that's a lot of pin points. Every duel you almost can count on a pin unless the other team's got a better guy. But and then another guy that got hurt with the retina injury, he's in a had some junior high guys have to take his spot. So they're just some real youth issues versus older experience, and it's just a lot of. I mean, if you're gonna, let's say you get pinned, right? But you're supposed to get a pin. That's a 12-point swing.
Right.
That's huge
Yep.
in a duel versus a decision or a win. If you do the math, but it can make a massive difference having guys out.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone's surprised that you just destroyed Larimore the way that you did, but those last two matches were relatively close, and you were saying there were some coin flips and some different things going on Saturday.
Yeah, we lost a flip in both those duels, the semis and the finals. It wasn't such a big deal in the semis, but in the finals, if you noticed, if you're watching, we won the first flip, but they had the wrong weight class on the scoreboard.
Oh gosh. Oh.
I knew what weight it was starting at. I'm almost positive the other coach did, but they brought up some controversy. Well, since that happened, we need to reflip it, and then we reflipped, and then we lost.
Oh my goodness.
And that was a big part of the duel. So anyway, you start, and we got to a point where we had to bump the entire lineup. So we put Gabe Clifton on all the way up, bump Gabe to 45, Nick Garber up to 52, Corbin Clifton to 60, Max C 72, Max or yeah, sorry, Callan Garber up to 89, and then bump where were we? Now I'm confused.
189.
Yeah. And then we put Jacob Heinrichs up to 215,
There you go.
and then heavyweight Chuck Jorgensen. And then we put, you just interviewed Sky, his little brother in at 106, Rich Kramlich, and then bump Sky up to 114.
He's been wrestling very well these last few weeks, Rich.
Yeah, he's a very talented wrestler. He's light for 107. It's actually 109 because everyone gets 2 pounds, and he's sitting around 100ish or so. And he's one of quite a few good wrestlers in our room around that age. There's a whole bunch of them. Mason Cook, Gabe English, Chase Stedman. Feels like I'm forgetting someone again. I hope not. Oh, I sure might be though. I hope not.
Yeah.
Next question. Yeah.
So I noticed on the bracket as I was looking at it that Pembina County North and Northern Lights actually ended up tied. And so you go to a national rule on tiebreakers.
Yeah, so they go to criteria, and the first one is wins. Okay, and since it's 13 weight classes, it seems like it should be fairly self-explanatory, right? But there was I think they had like a double forfeit or something in there, so it made it even.
So 12, yeah.
Yeah, on wins, and then it went down the line. I don't even remember which criteria, if it was pins. I don't even think it was pins. I think it was a couple down the line.
My goodness.
Most near falls or something.
Were you surprised that those two teams were that evenly matched? I know you had seen them here a couple weeks ago.
No, not necessarily. I know that they have two pretty good heavyweights too, and I think that was a big one. Pembina County won at heavyweight.
Sure.
So I wasn't super surprised. I knew it could be closer. It could be it could have been a little more spread out than that, but didn't surprise me.
Sure. So, what were your sort of in the micro takeaways from this weekend? Who individually had a really good weekend? Because it seemed like the guys that won, they went 3-0.
Yeah. Well, I think let's start at the bottom. I think Ridge and Sky Cromlech went undefeated. I think um, Drew Carr was undefeated, and then we got some young guys. We got Jackson Wilson and Callan Wolski and his brother Crew, who we bumped in there when I told you we had to bump everybody. Um, so they're getting the brunt of the. They're probably not getting the wins right now that we would like, but that's just they're gonna have to learn through some experience.
Kind of getting thrown into the
Yeah,
wolves.
thrown to the wolves. There's nothing you can do about it. Um, and then we get up to. So I think Gabe Clifton won or lost one, so I think he was 2-1. Um, I think Nick Garber was undefeated. Corbin Clifton was undefeated. I think Boy, I think Max was undefeated.
I think he was.
I
Yeah.
think Callan Garber was undefeated. Now I think Jacob, I think he was 2-1. Jacob Heinrichs, and then we bumped Kirby Freeman out of the lineup. One time we put in Chuck Jorgensen's brother, and he won against Larimore. Kirby was kind of fighting some sickness, so we weren't even sure if we were going to use him at all. But he'd pinned the guy in the earlier in the year against Hillsboro, so we thought maybe he could anyway, but it didn't go his way. So and that's another another reason why we did the bump in the last duel. But and then Chuck Jorgensen, he's still got to get bigger and stronger for heavyweight, and he actually showed some good signs, I thought, on his aggression and trying stuff, having some confidence to go out there and make a good effort and just let the chips fall. It doesn't matter, just go after it. And you win, you win. You lose, but at least you're gonna make them counter you.
So this weekend it goes to individuals. You
Yep.
heard the guys break down their
Yep.
brackets. How many guys are you aiming to see advance to the
To
state
state?
tournament? Yeah.
I mean, I'm always gonna be. I hate saying this kind of stuff out loud, or on teams, but I mean, I can tell you who I think is ranked, like I think supposed to go. I think Cromlech will be like the 3 seed at state, somewhere in there. I think at 121, I think Drew Carr's top 6, somewhere in there. This weekend could make a little bit of a difference, but not too much. Um, Gabe Clifton will be on the bubble because he missed half the year. That's in the. So like a guy like him, I expect him to qualify, but is he supposed to? Well, I don't know. Is he supposed to place? To me, he's supposed to place, but he's not going to be on paper.
Yeah.
45. Nick Garver's definitely a top 4 seed in the state. I expect him to do well. And 52, Corbin's starting to get everything back together here.
And that's the defending state
State
champion. So, yeah.
And then back to Gabe Clifton. He was 1 at 2 at state last year. And then we get to 60. Max C qualified last year, and he was 1 and 2. And he's kind of on the bubble fringe guy, too. I think, but he sure could place, and he should place if he's in the right mindset. And then 72, Callan Garver's a returning placer. And he'll be seated somewhere. And then guys like the rest of those big guys are, again, fringe guys. And if they qualify, that'd be great. And then we'll reassess from there.
Absolutely. And then, so you
You
guys.
got to be top 8, so you can qualify though. It's a tough region though. Our region is way tougher than the West.
Yeah.
Way tougher.
The West is very top heavy.
Yeah.
Like very, very top heavy. In terms of seeding for the duels, we know those are Saturday of the state tournament. Are you guys number 1 overall or number 2 overall?
Say that again once.
Are you guys like the number 1 of the regional winners, or
Of the
or
4
how do
regions?
they? Yeah, how do they rank those?
Okay, well,
Because I know South Border won the Southeast.
and they lost to Oaks in the duel in the regular season, but they won in the.
That's right.
Okay, so here's what I think. I think it's going to be. Either South Border or Velva one or two. And I think that kicks, even though Oaks got second. Like sometimes you get some favoritism because you're region champs, but I think Oaks probably, I don't know for sure, but I think they could get the 3 seed. You know, this hasn't came out yet. We don't even know. And then the 4 seed,
Could be you guys.
it could be. We could be a 4 or 5. That's the best I think we could get right now.
It's not bad.
No, because and we're 12-2 in duels. We lost to Minot High and we lost to
Oaks.
And that's it. But we didn't we were supposed to wrestle New Salem, but they had a bunch of sick guys,
That's
so they
right.
pulled the plug at our tournament and didn't compete. And they'll be able to say that in their defense or whatever. But are they a tough team? Yeah, they're a good team. They score a lot of points, you know. Bowman County beat them twice this year, but they're going to say, well, they didn't because we had guys we lost to them, which could be true. It's true, but loss is a loss, you know.
Every team
you
has
can,
those,
yeah.
right?
I mean, and sure they will be better probably, but is that going to make them seated ahead of you? They shouldn't be, you know. So you got and then Bowman and New Salem were the top 2 out of that one. Velva and Williams County were the top 2. Us and Pembina County, and then Lisbon, or not Lisbon, sorry, South Border Oaks.
Yeah. That'll be fun. That'll be very fun a week from Saturday. But first,
So they seed the top 5 is what they do, and then they draw the
at
6,
random.
7, 8. Yep.
So it's kind of like what they do in every tournament in Minnesota.
Okay.
That makes sense. So, well, we will be there. It's 10 a.m. on Saturday on the Cardinal and on KDDR the Tornado. We'll have some guys from Oaks working along with Dennis and Coach. We're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for stopping by.
All right.
Head coach Josh Kerbaugh, Carrington Boys Wrestling. That's going to do it from us.
All right, thanks, BJ.
You got it. That's going to do it for us. And when we come back from the break that you're about to hear, Kyle Hewitt will take over for Carrington Boys Basketball. Thanks so much to Coach Kerbaugh, to all of his guys, to Isabel Wendell, to Coach Mara Nelson, and to Coach Mark Pasternak. We thank you so much for joining us. We're back here on Wednesday, the 26th, for the next Carrington Coaches Show. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us for the Carrington Coaches Show, live from the Prairie Inn in Carrington on KDAK The Cardinal and the KDAK The Cardinal YouTube page. If you missed this or any other Carrington Coaches Show, you can always go back and listen to the KDAK podcast page at newsdakota.com and on the KDAK The Cardinal YouTube page. The proceeding has been a presentation of I3G Media Sports.
There's no community like a Cenex community. That's why every Cenex store is